Good morning, everybody, and this is Reggie with Stock Talk. Today is December 18th. It's a Friday, and our mug of the day is my mug from Key West, Florida, where we're at the southernmost part of the United States. So enjoy. I hope you guys having your coffee, and we're ready to go this morning. So let's get into it. This is my pre-market analysis, and as always, we start with the VIX. Right? We want to see how much buying is selling is going on in the market thus far, and see how it looked yesterday. So let's zoom in, and it looks like the VIX is holding that support line here. Follow my cursor. Is found the support line. Yesterday, we had a bit of a doji here, called a dragon doji, and this doji is a undecisive doji, but excuse me, not yesterday. This was This was Wednesday. Excuse me. This was yesterday, and so typically this doji shows more selling. Sometimes, as we can see, the next day actually matched it and kind of went up a little higher and it's testing this 22.20 point line, and we're still look like we're back to uptrending again. Let me show you. So this little trend line shows an uptrend. Now with the VIX, we want the VIX to downtrend because that means the stock market will go up. So that's showing that there is a little fear, a little selling in the market. I know personally, I did readjust my portfolio yesterday and did some selling because next week is kind of unpredictable. Next week, Tesla will be added to the S&P 500. Next week, we hopefully will have a stimulus deal done and inked up. So that's good for the market. But typically, with Tesla and big moves like that, there's a lot of buildup, a lot of buying up to the day of the event, and then it tanks. What makes this particular event kind of unique, though, is institutional buyers that has because they have to use the S&P 500 for their portfolios, and there's a little bit of rebalancing with that. But so they have to buy into the S&P 500. But with the onslaught of retail investors, they may be selling. So it's just very hard to tell and very indecisive. So I think that's what's bringing a lot of fear to the market. So as of today, you look at this red dotted line. That's today's market. There's no candlestick yet formed because we're pre-market. But looks like we're starting off at the bottom of the last candlestick. So I do believe the VIX will be up. Hopefully this line will hold and we don't break it. But looks like the VIX is going to be up. So today is going to be a bit of an undecisive day, maybe a sideways days in the stock market. No particular huge move up or down is undecisive. Excuse me. Also, monthly options are due today, so you're going to see a lot of activity with buying and selling, which I believe will create a range. So let's move on to the SPY. The SPY is the S&P 500 ETF. The whole market is based off the SPY. It definitely isn't the whole market, but the market does move with the S&P 500. A lot of tech stock, and again, a lot of portfolios are measured against the S&P 500. So that's why it's so critical to look at it to determine what type of day today is going to be. If we look here, look like we stayed in a very small range yesterday. And you see as my trend lines here, the yellow trend lines, looks like it's respecting them still. We had a very, very small movement day yesterday. And so today looks like we're starting off lower. So I expect the S&P 500 to respect this green trend line and trade at low of the day will be 371 will be our low of the day, I'm predicting. And our high of the day, if we have a spike up, I believe the spike up will come close to closing time because the morning is going to be a lot of buying and selling with options. And then people are repositioning for next week. And we got volume coming back, as you can see here. So volume is starting to increase. So I believe our high of the day will be the top of this trend line, which will be 373 for the SPY. And according to this, if you're looking at all this volume, I do believe we will have some sort of an update. But I do believe there's gonna be a lot of selling too. So it's kind of hard to tell. So I believe we're just gonna stay in this small range again. So my final decision is a high of 370. Looks like 374. So probably 373 will be our high, but I don't believe it'll. I don't think it'll get up to there. And if it does, it will be in the afternoon. But I honestly believe we trade in the short range, we will probably get a high of low like 373.50. So anyway, moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been on a tear. So what's going on with Bitcoin? And I've seen a lot of people trying to sign on and try to figure out how to buy Bitcoin because everybody heard about the hype. Even non-traders are trying to get into Bitcoin. So what's Bitcoin? What's the next move for Bitcoin? So we had a huge move up yesterday. It was a short, had kind of a failure towards this red trend line here, which is the 23,745 mark, and we settled down here, almost 100 points lower. And so now, excuse me, I keep saying yesterday. The 17th, yeah, okay, the 17th. So this is Bitcoin. So this trades 24 hours. So that's why I'm a little off because we actually have a candlestick. Usually pre-market we don't have candlesticks, but there's no such thing as pre-market for currency because it trades 24/7. So today, as of today, we've been in the short range, 22,466 and 23,203. I do believe, again, with this momentum we've been having, look at this. Look at the volume so far. The day really hasn't began, and we have huge volume. We're already at the average volume. So I do believe we have a big move in Bitcoin. I do believe we will retest this 23.8 trend line, and that should be our high of the day. But with momentum, we may touch 24. So if it hits $24,000 for Bitcoin, I do believe we'll bounce down. But that should be our high of the day. Is I see 24 with awesome volume, but looking at the charts, our high of the day should be about 23,939. And the reason for that too is because if you're trading, you don't set your buy orders at 24. You go a little bit below it because usually it doesn't touch it. So I think that's why we're seeing that. So let's go to the Dow. The Dow is still trading within the range. We're still waiting for a breakout. And actually today may be our breakout. As of right now in pre-market, we are touching the top line of that resistance. So keep an eye on the Dow. The IWM is high. So the Russell, we're touching the top of the Bollinger Band here. So let's keep an eye on that. I do believe we'll start off there, but then we will take a move downwards. We'll see where that's going. My picks of the week, let's see how they're panning out. Genius is not panning out the way I thought it would, but it's a cheap stock, so we're down like 10 cents. That's not a huge deal, right? Strom Motors was another pick of the day. We're still within this range. We're still holding this 1897 is $19,000 support. So I still believe Strom Motors is a good buy here because it's a EV play and it's an EV infrastructure play because Strom Motors is investing in electric charging stations. Juma is the Amazon of Africa. This was another pick of the day this week. It's still trading within this range. Juma did take a bit of a move down, but long Juma is a good stock to buy, and I am still long with Juma. Today will be a big day for Blink Charging. Blink Charging is a play on EV infrastructures. They have, if you look at Blink's website, I should have pulled up, but if you look at Blink's website and look at the map for charging stations, they're all over the country. They're already set up and ready to go, and they're signing contracts every week for batteries and electric charging stations. So Blink is ready to go, and look like we have a bit of a double top. We had a test of this 34 and a half mark. We tested it again yesterday, and today we're starting off at the top of the Bollinger Band. So I do believe we will hit 3664 again and maybe break through with the right volume. Yesterday we had average volume. Our RSI indicator is showing uptrend. Our MacD indicator is showing uptrend. So we're powering up with Blink charging. So keep an eye on that. Another pick of the day was PETS, which is 1-800-PETMEDS.com. It hit the top of the Bollinger Band, and what leaves the top of the Bollinger Band must comes back down inside the Bollinger Band is one of my rules. So because of that, we had a spike up, but we're still high. Pet Meds is a buy. Pet Meds is flying high, but it's still a buy. And of course, depends on your trading strategy. And so we're starting off the day today pre-market at $32 mark. We may see a bounce down, but Pet Meds is a buy, and it's also a short squeeze. So if you don't know what short squeeze is, look that up. And with short squeezes, we have huge parabolic moves to the upside as the stock moves up. So you may want to do a play on 1-800 Pet Meds. Stitch Fix was just an example. It was I don't recommend it at these levels. It was a short squeeze. This is an example of a short squeeze and the parabolic moves that it makes. So this is what I'm expecting out of pets. Chewy is the Amazon of pet products. So Chewy is another short squeeze. We hit 100 yesterday. I said yesterday it was a buy. So yesterday we didn't have this advantage of this candlestick to look at, but I did predict that it would be a move up. And so if you bought Chewy yesterday, you're way up. You bought it yesterday because it started off at $95 and gapped up a whole $5. And if you're playing options, that is a good buy. We are in the oversold territory right now, so I would be careful buying it today. Maybe take another look at it on Monday. Our next one this is a pick of the day. I got two picks of the day today, and this one is Nike because today Nike is releasing earnings. So today's earnings for Nike, and typically I don't do plays on earnings because it's either you're guessing up or guessing down. But historically, Nike gaps up $5 to $10 the next day after earnings because they've been killing it. They've been killing it through COVID, and they've done a really solid job. My only concern is typically there's a sell off the day of earnings, and then it spikes up the next day. It doesn't look like we're heading towards a sell off. So this may be a bit of a different earnings play, but we'll see. I mean, we have awesome volume leading up to it. So we'll see if there's a bit of a sell-off today in Nike, but it looks like the RSI was already in oversold territory. So we might already seen our sell-off, but it's just so many buyers that it's not really looking very fluid. So we're starting off at 141. I believe we need the breakthrough, test and breakthrough the 141.5 mark. And let's see if it does go parabolic. I'm thinking it's going. If it goes parabolic, we're going to test the 150 mark. So if you're playing Nike on earnings today, keep that in mind. Your mark should be 150. If it drops, I think it'll respect this trend line. If you have a parabolic drop, it'll go to 127. I highly doubt it gets that far down. Most likely, maybe the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is 132. So and I'm betting that's not going to happen with Nike. Nike's been pretty solid, but we'll see how earnings go. And my last pick of the day will be EBIX, something you probably never heard of. EBIX supplies software for insurance companies. So they're pretty solid business revenue, business stream. They have most of the major insurance companies, and they are a play on software, right? So this is another short squeeze. This is a heavily shorted stock, but we have upward movement which shorts hate, and at some point there's going to be a short squeeze. Right now we're moving in a sideways trend, and this red line it's been respecting that as resistance. So keep an eye on this, and options are cheap. It's about to hit the 20-day moving average, this red line of the Bollinger Band. So this may be a good entry point, and it may go parabolic within the next week or two. So you may want to add that to your plays for today. One thing we will need is volume, though. We had a big volume spike yesterday in which sellers won. So then that's probably a lot more people going short the stock. But it looks like we had a bit of a green yesterday. This was Wednesday, I'm sorry, and that's what the big volume was. And so we had green yesterday, and we just need volume to get this thing into a short squeeze. According to the RSI indicator, it's been sold off, so it's starting to head into the overbought. So we got more buyers coming into the market, and the MacD is still showing a downtrend. So just play this one safe and accordingly. Take small entries and let it verify. Once it crosses the 37.89 mark, then I would probably add a bigger position on the play. So that's my stock Predictions for today. This is what the market's looking like today. If you have any comments, you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. This is Reggie with Stock Talk, and I will see you on the next video. I hope you have an awesome trading day. And again, like and subscribe. That way you get notifications of all these videos I release, and I also release a lot of recommendations throughout the trading day. So you want to get those alerts. So I can do the work for you because I know a lot of people are hard work and don't have time to look at charts all day, and I look at hundreds of charts a day. So I would love to share this information with you guys. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.